try the new concealer from Undercover Girl.
This revolutionary concealer can cover up anything.
Conceal your habits. Conceal that unsightly mustache. We can all see it, can't you?
And when I say anything,
I mean anything, bro.
Do you, boo?
Easy breezy, beautiful Undercover Girl.
Yo, what's up? We back with a special edition of the best podcast you never heard of, Conceited Nobody. This is episode 158. We featuring a special guest that got us sitting up here on this mundane Monday, Uncle Buck.
Yeah.
We gonna give him a better intro than that in a second, but before we get a kick, you already know who I am. This is Latours, aka Dark Skin Thanos, aka The Commodity, aka Fan of Facts. I'm out of AKAs right now. To my left, we got the man with the master plan, Juvie, the motherfucking, look, hey, he set up straight like he's ready to knock somebody out. I thought he gonna hit me with one of these. Yeah, that Floyd #1 shit. The motherfucking, definitely to the right. But you already know what it is, Renaissance Juvie, the man with the master plan, the man who always makes shit happen. How you doing?
Man, feeling good. I'm in the gym and feeling real good.
That's it. That's all. You been getting ready to beat somebody up? Any more concrete dates on fights or anything? Or we still just going?
They saying not late May, mid-May. They saying mid-May, so that's the target date.
You not overtraining?
No, I ain't overtraining.
That's what's up.
I kicked it down a little bit because I was going hammer. You know, just because it's like, you coming back and it's like, man, I'm about to put a hole in this motherfucker. You feel me? But you gotta like, hey, remind myself like I done had fights to where I done definitely overtrained. And you like, what happened? And it's like, man, bro, you ain't relaxed. Like you was going way too hard.
And that's the crazy thing how it is when it's not concrete on when shit gonna pop. But I don't know, man. I'm getting anxious. I'm ready to see you fight. How Golden Gloves coming?
Man, it's looking good. Everybody been in the gym. All the amateur boxers. They excited to work with me. This year. Everybody looking forward to working with me this year. All the amateur boxers. Now that they like.
Did you hear that soft flex?
Hey, it's true though.
Did you hear that soft flex? They anxious to work with me.
Rightfully so.
Hell yeah, I ain't bad at it.
Even my coaches be calling me like coach. He be referring to me as a coach to the other young fighters and stuff. So, and man, shit.
How that be making you feel?
Man.
Authoritative, like yeah.
Right. I don't know yet. Right now, it's kind of.
Julie be in there telling them stop running in the hall and shit. Hey, stop running in the hall.
Sit down. It's still new to me, so I just be like,
still wet behind
I still work with who I work with, and I don't be making too. I don't be correcting people. Like, even if like some people, if I ain't never talked to them, I don't really be correcting too much. But now I'm starting to come out of that, like, starting to correct people.
Fuck you, old man. With your broke leg. The young boys.
And then they been seeing me spar, so now that's what I've been waiting for, people to see me in action. Cause I'm in the gym sparring and they see like he ain't no joke.
Hey, we gotta listen to everything he say.
Yeah, so.
To his right. Look alive. Fuck that. You know what time it is. You know what time it is. Turn the fuck up.
It's your boy Jason Ritchie, aka Go Jason R, aka Taser, the boy Taser. You can call me Tazito. You can call me Marty McHigh. Also, you can call me More Material Mondays on at Go Jason R on YouTube. That's what you need to go to right now. Don't worry about my name. At Go Jason R on YouTube. Watch the videos.
Listen.
Watch the videos.
I've been looking forward to these videos, and today is the funniest one. That motherfucker.
It just happened to be Monday too. Go now.
Yeah. Hell yeah. That was some funny shit. I watched that earlier. That was
Thank you, gentlemen.
Hell yeah.
Thank you for the views. Thank you.
Yeah,
I'm really truly thankful. Anybody watching anything.
Yeah, right? I get that. I get that 100%. Thanks for clicking download for 3 seconds. I appreciate it.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Listen, and it And no disrespect to Jason and his new Monday shit, but today is new Tuesday.
Hey.
TCK Tuesday. It's soft. No, but shout out, that shit funny as fuck. What I'm about to start doing, man, I'm about to start putting them on the lead into the videos.
Okay.
If that, you know what I'm saying? That's cool. That's cool.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. To my right, man, we got our special guest, Uncle Buck.
Yeah.
From Uncle Buck Podcast.
Yep. That is
I've been
out.
on this podcast twice, as Jason has too. We got yet to get Juvie, Renaissance Juvie on there.
Absolutely.
We call him Renaissance Juvie, man, because he got his hand in everything. It's like he, right now he dedicated to boxing, but he gets in on everything.
There you go. Hell yeah.
But
we'll have to make that happen for sure.
Right. We got Buck in here, man. A pleasure. And
yeah, pleasure to be here, man. Thanks for we were talking about having me on a while back, and like the schedule just kind of conflicted because I have a regular Tuesday gig, and so that never really came to fruition. And you guys were able to be flexible to get me in here. I'm excited to be here. Hell yeah.
You're kind of a big deal.
Hey. I will take both sides of that, the pun and the compliment.
Hey, he got a radio ass voice, don't he? He got a fucking radio voice.
What can I say to that?
Yeah, like for real.
Well
like,
said.
It's for real. That's
it's one of those weird things. Like my grandpa was really loud, but my mom was in sales. So like I got the gift of gab from her. But I got the always being too damn loud from him. And so, like, the two just kind of, grew over the years. And, yeah. I do what I can with it.
You're the Buck with the golden voice.
Give me a macaroni commercial. What was that one guy with the golden voice, that homeless guy? Remember that guy? The one who looked like Obama?
We talked about that motherfucker.
Yeah.
But,
that's right. We did talk
about that. He got a dope-ass podcast, man. We go out there. We had a good time. I like the fact that y'all willing to talk about alternative, alternative news.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, it's one of those things where, like, we really are willing to talk about anything.
Yeah.
But it just so happens to be that we started this podcast right before, this pandemic. And then, we've always been we've been talking about conspiracy theories for years and ancient aliens. And, a lot of that stuff kind of, bled into the, Anunnaki and stuff like that. So we just started learning a lot about that and loved talking about it. And so when I wanted to start a podcast where I was, not only integrating, the producer and comedian side of me with, just wanting to have some sort of steady project, to start to grow, that when all that sort of happened, I mean, that's just kind of naturally where we gravitated to in our conversation. And, it gets wild sometimes, but at the same time, I feel like you have so much of the normal media outlets giving you, the same thing in some different wrapping paper that, sometimes it's refreshing to hear about, some stuff that might be outside of the box, but, interesting to hear about nonetheless.
Before we go on with our traditional lineup, is how we conduct the show on an Ask right here, right now. What's your top 2 favorite quote-unquote conspiracy theories?
Oh man, my favorite 2 to talk about. Well, first of all, because so many people, it's one that so many people can kind of like talk to with ease, so it's a really great sort of icebreaker to talk about conspiracies, is the moon landing. That one's just one that's a lot of people have thoughts on the moon landing, and very few of them are, that shit went down just straight the way it did. But then the other one that's really interesting to me is the idea that the CIA has, put its claws in, all the major institutions of, North America, and that, there's this this kind of unknown, communication of ideologies that kind of happens behind the scenes that no one can really prove. I think that sort of thing just kind of bleeds so naturally that if they weren't connected, it'd be very weird. So
with the moon landing, people don't understand. First off, shout out Kubrick.
Yeah.
Shout out Stanley.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't understand that that's almost like a domino. Like it's connected to so many quote unquote conspiracy theories. Primarily one of my favorite ones, which is the flat Earth.
Yeah.
The moon landing goes hand in hand with that one, because if you can't get out of the atmosphere, you can't go to the moon. And then with the CIA is so far-reaching. People don't understand, and I think people gloss over the fact that they had deals with various newspapers and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Push out information. More importantly, they got JFK up out of here.
Yeah, that was that's something. That's another one. The JFK assassination is another one that a lot of people put in that conspiracy realm, and for good reason. There's a lot of weird shit surrounding that, and also, like you said, a domino effect that kind of those things sort of coincided. It's very weird.
You ever looked at the Warren Commission?
I don't know a lot about it, but I have heard a bit about it.
Check that shit out though, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy when you check it out. But like I said, we're gonna kick it off how we always do. I'm disappointed in Julie because he can't join this conversation properly. But you just be along for the snowfall.
I'll be soaking it all up. Like anything I heard learn something new,
I just be wanting like your opinion on it and shit. You know what I'm saying? Cause we all watch that shit.
Yeah.
Snowfall. What was it? Episode 5. You might know the number.
Yep.
First off, Snowfall. It's a TV show on FX. Cause me and Uncle Buck talked about it. We talked about it before. Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Good call.
Yeah.
We it's based on originally Freeway Ricky Ross. You familiar with him?
Not really.
You gotta check him out, man. You be on your shit, man. You gotta get on that Freeway Ricky Ross. He was part of the he was the I don't want to call him just the drug dealer, but he was the drug dealer who some of the CIA operatives was dealing with during the Iran Contra shit.
Like in the late 70s, the hostage?
When the crack came out.
Oh, gotcha.
Crack era. But it was sort of based on his story, maybe.
Like the stuff coming through Arkansas? Like
shit going straight to Cali from the cartels.
Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking of the other guy that the Tom Cruise movie is based off of. Yeah, I'm thinking of a different guy.
But he was from South Central LA, and when crack first popped off and shit, he was one of the big hitters.
Okay.
And he had like a CIA connect, who was, you know what I'm saying? Everybody know that the whole crack was used to fund the war on the Contras and shit. But it was covert. Nothing. You familiar with Gary Webb?
No, apparently not.
Listen, I'm gonna give you a listen.
All right, I need to do my homework before I came in
there,
there,
man. But it's just based on this story. That's what Snowfall is like the introduction of crack to the neighborhoods and how detrimental it was. That's what this story is about. And it was produced by John Singleton, the late great John Singleton. And that's my real quick synopsis. On to this particular episode. They are rebounding very, very, very well.
Renege, huh?
Hey, no, man. I was just being a critic. I was just doing my job. I've seen good shows die, so I was panicking.
Hey, I understand.
I've seen good shows die. This episode was fantastic. For me, it was fantastic. I couldn't find too much shit to critique. And I'm going to try to be light on the spoilers, man. I don't want to fuck your viewing pleasures up. I'm going light on the spoilers.
It's all good.
They bounce back. It's minor things and shit that I didn't like, but they were so minor that I won't even go far as mention them. And the big reveal was that the child that got killed was Man Boy's niece.
Oh,
I forgot that. Remember when he said he had to connect earlier in last season when Man Boy told him he had to connect with an Inglewood?
Yeah.
I forgot that he was talking about Scully. So Scully's daughter was his niece, which is a weird ass, you know what I'm saying, dichotomy or a beef. They were there trying to kill each other, which incidentally with Homeboy killing the little girl, Leon, it brought the family together. And so it's a beautiful thing out of this that occurred.
Definitely.
Leon, I don't know how comforting getting his hair braided was. I really didn't. It was weird. He peeked out the window and shit to see Mr. Saint's mother get his hair braided. The only issue I have, which I just don't like, is see now I'm part of the hate crime. The Chinese reporter. Somebody needs to shoot that bitch, and not because she's Chinese, because her is terrible. The way they trying to integrate her into the show is terrible, man. They forcing it. And I don't think it's organic for us. It's just terrible, man. Shout out to Maurice. Maurice in the building. Mari's, he ain't gonna be on air. He feeling too good. He over there sitting with his ankles crossed and shit.
Yeah.
Look. Hey, Mari's. Hey, I mean, I mentioned Mari's though because he was fucking with 2K. You around knowing that Chinese friend was?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, this what she reminds you of.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is, man. But Jason, your thoughts on this particular? You fucking with that 2K, didn't you? Where you had the Chinese best friend. It was the story mode.
I didn't play the story mode on 2K.
You don't? That's the best part of 2K.
I never did. I just played the quick play and let's go. Like,
go ahead, man. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I do agree that this was they turned it around for real because it was on a downturn for a minute, and rarely do they like you said turn it around. So I didn't like. I don't know how I felt about their decisions though, but you know that's why this is a good show. Like I said, I don't want to spoil it for Juvie too, but
when you say decisions, don't give it to me as much as you can't pause. Without giving it to me, pause again.
I'm like, Franklin get too involved. I don't know if he get too involved and they think he not getting involved enough, and I'm like, man, you know, you just don't got nothing to do with you if you don't want it to, but
right.
he feels compelled to just because it's funny that he still got some sense of loyalty.
He gotta fucking have loyalty.
Yeah, because it's...
No, that's his friend. That's his
but I'm glad that they showcasing, showing that, and that's one of the qualities that they got for the main character.
And I hope it's sustained.
I hate to,
the women cutthroat on this show.
You already love to see a sucker fall, but you know what I mean? But
you
when
think he's on a sucker?
No, I wasn't talking about that. I was just saying, like, in general, when you see a show like this, you like, when they make stupid decisions, like, see, that's what you deserve.
Really,
but
I like how they did Leon because he really like, I don't know, it's just so like he
like
really
him.
like a
They're authentic.
Yeah, he authentic. He real authentic.
What I'm gonna tell you, I hope Franklin don't flip on him.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're gonna deal with this particular problem, but what I was saying is the women cutthroat. His aunt, she is so fuck. How in the fuck do you advocate, you know what I'm saying, him getting fucked up? And then go back to Franklin's mother and shit where she was cool with taking the book's owner's place and shit like that. I just don't get it. Jerome, he stepped up and did what he's supposed to do. Get a nigga a pistol. Hey, he gave me that pistol. But look, I'm gonna tell you one more thing before we move on. The part where him having that fucking nightmare, that shit was kind of spooky, nigga. Yeah. That looked like a fucking Freddy Krueger scene, man. That shit went straight from drama to this is a horror movie, man. But it was Tales in the Hood.
It was good expressing they really showed how he was going through it.
It was good. And one more thing, I don't like how his mother traded 25 racks for a robe.
Oh yeah.
Hey, she criticized him and shit. And he had $25,000 stash. I think that was the number. He had $25,000 stash and shit. She like, we have responsibilities around here. But
he paid his dues. If she took the money, let him stay.
You said what?
He paid it. He paid his way.
I'm tell you something.
For that one day.
She paid back with a robe.
I did a great job dancing around there.
Hey, I really want to.
I need to dive into this.
It would be like a robe.
I need to dive into this.
You gotta watch it.
I'm like this.
You ain't gonna fall asleep. You're not gonna fall asleep on it if you turn it on.
And I'm gonna leave it like that because I think we did the best recap we could without spoiling it. On to some other news. First off, man, let me continue some sensationalism. And this is beneath me. This is beneath this podcast. But sometimes we gotta go down with the trash. And I'm gonna be disappointed if y'all know what I'm talking about, if y'all know more details than me. And this is gonna really lead into something I wanna ask. Are y'all familiar with the girl who dumped Quavo? What's her name? Is it
Black China?
Boy, I'm so glad Jason this nigga said Black China. I'm so glad you're a good one, nigga. You make me proud. Go ahead, you be disappointed.
No, I mean, on social media, I be on Twitter.
Yeah, I know.
I be on
oh,
Twitter.
Yeah.
I didn't go
you know, motherfuckers.
What's her name?
I really don't be following motherfuckers.
Is her name
People
Saweetie?
be retweeting and
Saweetie.
favorite and shit. Yeah, so Saweetie and Quavo broke up.
The thing is, this is as far as I want to go. She was just on a interview with her ex-boyfriend, which is Puffy Combs.
Oh, yeah,
hold on.
crazy.
And they was talking about threesome, and this is what she said, man. I don't understand how you going on here with your ex-boyfriend and y'all having sexual conversations. And listen, this is, believe me, man, because this is my media takeout segment of the show when I go get my ignorant news. She was on there with Puffy's son. I think it was Justin or Sean. I don't know. One of them born rich niggas. She said that he had something about would you give your man a threesome. I might be misquoting this because I just glanced over it. And she said, yeah, but with another man. And this is, and anybody with half a brain know that's a train.
That's a train.
So listen, this the fucked up part. She said, but I would do him the honor of allowing him to pick the man.
That's so crazy.
I mean, it's like
I'm gonna let him put the bullets in the gun and shoot us.
Yeah, that's like the worst form of going out and picking the switch. You know what I mean? Man. It's like, it's
hell yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna hurt, but you get to go pick what happened. What you get to pick the weapon. You know what I mean? Man,
how would you choose, Jason? What would you go?
Yeah, I picked the little choosing.
I'm not fucking
I tried to run him in and out.
You thought I was gonna slide in on it? Hell no.
You gotta be tall.
At least it'll be my homie. No, hell no.
Oh shit.
But I'm telling you though, man, like that audacity for her to just come out and say some shit like, I will give you the honor of picking. Like, geez, thanks. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, what it led up to was her dumping him on before he knew he was dumped. She dumped him on social media. She said that he had been cheating, whatever. I'm telling you, I honestly don't give a shit about that. Sometimes I purposely don't click on shit. Like, my ignorance be like, and then I don't do it. Like, I gotta reserve some of my fucking credibility.
Yeah. There's just such a kind of ridiculousness to some of that stuff that, like, it's almost like you can't not rubberneck. You know what I mean? Like, you can't not be like, so what's this train wreck that just happened here?
I tell people all the time, man, that I hate for people to say this happened and it's causing a distraction. And I say, shit, you can't look at two things at one time. You can't look at good shit. But I realize how some people just innately dumb as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, they are fucking stumped by celebrity shit.
Well, and also the algorithms themselves are going to just keep repeating what they, so someone who does just happen to get intrigued by that and clicks on it a lot and shares it a lot, they're going to just keep getting more of it.
Hell yeah. What you about to say,
Shane? The other thing you were saying about that celebrity shit, how motherfuckers be like, oh, how did, if Quavo and Jay-Z cheated on Beyonce and Saweetie, these dudes, blase, if they cheat on them, like, how do y'all equate? It's crazy how people equate a celebrity or like they see somebody they think is of a certain stature and equates them as this is the standard of what somebody should
relationship goes.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
That shit.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah. I mean, it's a weird sort of thing. Yeah.
That shit should make like women tighten up. You know what I'm saying? If it happened to Beyonce, what makes me think it can't happen to me?
That's too rad.
You know what I'm saying?
You gotta think what kind of
good call, Jason. But I say that to say this though. Scratch all the ignorant things we said in the last 2 minutes. Yeah. Could you date a celebrity?
Nah, man. I ain't gonna say nah. It had to be some. I'm just trying to think of celebrities that be detaching themselves away from being a celebrity.
That'd be a voice actor.
This nigga trying to follow little Mel Blanc. What about you?
The guy who does Herbert the Pervert, just like, just like.
Paper boy. You guys want some popsicles? Got some popsicles down the shelf.
He had the whistle and everything.
You talking about an A-class celebrity?
Anybody who you walk down the red carpet with, they refer to you as
Another person.
up and coming boxer.
So and so's
yeah.
person.
yeah. You
Nah,
got
Such
Yeah.
significant other.
Yeah.
I mean, Stedman made a career out of being Oprah's husband. You know what I mean? Like,
he wasn't even her husband. He was just her.
oh yeah, just Oprah's dude. So like, I don't know. I mean, maybe.
Special friend.
No,
Have you ever heard Stedman
I
talk?
feel like I would be in control.
You heard Stedman talk?
Yeah.
You might be the only motherfucker. You ever heard Stedman talk?
Man, maybe, but I feel like I'm having like a
You
Mandela
already
effect.
are.
Like now that I'm thinking about like, I don't know what I have. Yeah.
What'd he say? I don't remember what he
Help.
said. He was yeah, it probably wasn't nothing relevant.
Yeah.
It was just like
When
more,
was the last time
it was more
Stedman
respectful
alive?
that he was talking. Like, I'm like, Stedman got what?
Have
Got
y'all-
words coming out.
Man.
Yeah.
Have y'all seen Stedman since like a 1997?
No.
National Enquirer.
He on the whole network somewhere. She had to give him a little podcast.
And I'm gonna ask y'all one more thing.
They shoved them into a room with a microphone not plugged into anything.
You gotta
They just
show.
talk.
We know that transgenderism is a thing right now, so I'm gonna ask y'all this. Now, I'm not starting a conspiracy theory or anything, but I just want y'all to consider this. Have you ever seen Stedman and Gayle King in the same room? With the
He
rock?
became right.
Have y'all seen him
Holy
since she's
shit.
I
ascended?
mean,
Holy smokes.
Hey, we on to something.
might be onto something there.
But I couldn't date a celebrity. Cause with Beyonce, her and Jay-Z, she know that Jay-Z is the man of that shit. Nicki Minaj and Meek Mill, this girl in Quavo, Cardi and Offset, the woman thinks she better than these dudes in every instance. You know what I'm saying? She feel like he's the, you know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, you should be happy to be here with me. Matter of fact, you go up there and look at A, B, and C and pick which dick you want in me. You know what I'm saying? That's how she looking at him and shit. So they look at them like they weak, and I just couldn't. I couldn't.
And like
Like go ahead.
Well, so sorry. I'm just like of the mindset that like how much of that is, you know, like, not to discredit anyone's relationship, but like you have to feel like some of that was like someone somewhere, like there's a lot of marketability.
Yeah.
You know what I
Hell
mean?
yeah. The arrangements.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, it's hard for me to believe that Kim and Kanye met organically at a party and were just like, hey, you're fun to hang out with. You know what I mean? Like I mean, not that couldn't happen, but at the same time, like, I don't know.
He said he saw her.
That's what he said. I
He
seen
sought her
your
out.
tape.
He saw her.
No, he said I saw your
He
tape.
saw her and he sought her out. For real. Like,
I
he
mean,
knew music too.
cool.
Like, I want
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, no, I just am of the world of like Hollywood, just so much of it, I just, on screen, off screen, I feel like it's just theater that, like, you know, not that anyone didn't go through any, like, you know, actual trauma in a relationship or something, whatever, but like, I just feel like so much of that is, you know, I don't know,
I could do it for fun.
for the clicks. Yeah,
I could do it for fun.
For
if
sure.
If I had a lot of money, if I was in a stable, wealthy, like a high-paying job or something like that, I would do it.
Like, what do you mean you would do it?
Like, because there would be no power struggle, and I could come and go if I wanted to, and she wouldn't feel like I needed her in any way, or like I crave her attention. It's like, I get with you when I can, because I gotta get this money, lady.
I can see you on the
she
back
gonna
of her
start
motorcycle with your hair blowing. Hey, that shit crazy.
But for real, just like fucking around, like, cause I'd be pissed if the bitch probably like, I'll be at your house in the morning for breakfast, and then there's cameras when she come, and I'm like, what the fuck, we ain't all going to breakfast.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get a gratuity for your camera crew.
Even more pissed when the cameras pop up and she looking at you like, why you didn't cook?
I
When she asks you some shit like that, why
I
you
wasn't
didn't
even
cook?
gonna shower.
Yeah.
What you talking about, cook?
Have you heard about the celebrity Tinder? Called Raya, I believe, RAIA, I believe, and you have to apply to it, and you have to be certified, and they have to like green light you to be on this app. But if you are, it means that you know, are free to swipe on celebrities left and right. Like, there have been some people on like your Mom's House podcast talk about, you know, how they've, you know, it's not only just actors and famous people, sometimes it's producers, sometimes it's just people in the industry that are influential, sometimes stuntmen and women, you know,
I
like,
wanna know, like, how many of them are like just regular, just
Well, you have to be certified by the app, so I don't know what their credentials are.
I don't know the credentials.
Yeah. So
Jason trying to see how his celebrity go.
Nah,
how far his comedy career
I
gonna
just want
take
to
him.
see how low on the totem pole do they go.
Yeah, they wouldn't accept Tim Dillon.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Look at Jason trying to measure himself. Wait
Not for
a
me.
minute.
Not for me.
For a
Asking
friend.
for a friend.
Yeah.
No, but no, I ain't familiar with that shit though.
Yeah.
But just to move on real quick, man. Are y'all familiar with the spa incident that happened in Atlanta?
Mhm.
As far as
Somewhat.
I'm gonna gloss over this shit. First off, man, they said that some dude, a white dude, went into the spa in Atlanta and just started shooting people. That's what I gathered from. But they said he shot them because they Asian. It was Asian women. They said a massage parlor. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I think it was 3 different massage parlors.
Three
It was
different?
what I read was they responded to one where there was they responded to a robbery / shooting, and they showed up and there were a couple women shot dead there. And by the time that they were there reporting now in another parlor like around the corner or like either across the street and down the block or something nearby, the same exact thing was happening. And so they were like having to like, you know, by the time the guy was done, he had took off and they, you know, got him later. But yeah, he had hit like 1 or 2 different spots in this, you know, whole rampage. Pretty insane.
Shout out to my homie Chris, man. Me and him talked about this. I really didn't read it, but he said that the dude came out and said that his reason for shooting them was because they were Asians.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just Asians that were shot and killed in this incident.
Yeah.
And this is my speculation. Massage parlor, we can, you know what I'm saying, just explore what we know about massage parlors. I'm a deduce, man. I think he was disappointed in his blowjob.
Well, he said he was a sex addict, and that
See?
his reasoning in, you know, his testimony, the police said that he claimed to be a sex addict, and that these massage parlors represented to him a temptation that you know he couldn't bear, and decided to take care of it in the way that he did, and you know, well, once again. I apologize for another white dude, so my bad.
But maybe it wasn't a good.
Write that down. We taking Buck off the race war. He just saved himself.
Yeah, am I good? Okay.
Maybe there were no blowjobs, and that's what just sent him over the top.
That make more sense. That make more sense.
Like, you mean to tell me out of every
long day of work.
fucking
After a long day of work, you going here.
Yeah.
You going here with high hopes. But I'm gonna tell you something, man. I don't like how they piggyback and trying to make this like
Trying to make it like a movement or some shit.
it's like that's the biggest thing, man. It's
Nobody hate these motherfuckers for real, man.
not off that. Not just.
Yeah,
I mean, you might hate them, but it ain't
Yeah,
like.
this
I'm a
is-
chill.
only
Like,
old men.
that-
World War II.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. The only people that truly hate Asians are sitting in a VFW somewhere, like, you know, just talking about World War II stories. Like personally, like I, you know, it's something that, you know, I'm sure has its isolated incidences. Racism happens in many different ways and shapes across the country at all times, but at the same time, like, you know, it's a weird thing where I can't think of anyone that truly hates Asian people. If maybe you don't like the food, but I'm sure you love some aspect of Asian culture.
Hey, bro.
Like,
You don't
know what I
never,
mean?
never speak nobody speaking like derogatory.
Yeah, and they're technically the most prosperous minority in the
They're
U.S.
really ruthless. Like, man, if I could kill every Asian, like, if I could kill Asians, like,
It's
I
just
don't hear nobody fucking talk like
The
that.
only time I'm gonna tell you, man, that's my honest shit. The only time I ever disliked the Asian was because they was like following me around and shit. That's the air shot. You know what I'm saying? It's never just been. I don't think they have. It's organic hate towards them. You know what I'm saying? Of course we make fun, but why?
I don't like them when they don't speak
It
to me.
ain't be perfect.
Yeah.
Because I've met some that speak to me and they're nice, and the ones that don't speak to me, I automatically don't like.
Sure. Well, and you know,
And
it's
not the Asian.
It is.
and it's
No, I'm just playing.
and it's one of those things where like statistically, the Asian population in this country, technically East Asian if you want to get more specific, is highly prosperous.
Right.
They have like the highest test scores, the highest graduation rates, some of the highest per capita income. You know, they you know, on paper are doing pretty well, and because of that, I was kind of always under the impression that it was okay to punch up. You know, when you're when you're kind of joking about Asians, because it's like, you know, they're you know,
They
in the
got all
eyes
those
of everyone, they're
damn
doing
good
okay.
It's not like they
Yeah.
being what's that word I'm looking for?
Oppressed.
It's not like they being oppressed.
Yeah, well, and you know,
Not here.
yeah, that's true. That's
Because
true.
Myanmar, they going through it right now.
Yeah, and also,
in
where?
countries.
Burma.
I don't know what's going
Yeah.
on.
So he worked with a whole bunch of Burmese that
Yeah.
fucking.
yeah.
They was squatting up. They was like, we ain't coming to work.
It's tough.
They like, we not coming to work
Yeah.
together. And they don't. And they really
Well, plus, yeah, there's a whole bunch of, you know, Chinese people in China right now that are, you know, in internment camps just because
Yeah.
they happen to be Muslim. So it's like, you know,
It's funny that you
where exactly are we trying to stop the Asian
it's
hate?
gonna
In
be-
Asia or
it's
just in the
It's
U.S.?
gonna be Asian Heritage Month next month. in April.
Yeah.
It's gonna be Asian. I mean,
It's
Asian.
going to useless facts.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Don't worry.
I'm
They
just
gonna make it. They gonna make it if it's not yet.
And, you know, I am all for, you know, celebrating the melting pot that is the United States, but at the same time, it's like, you know, you can never stop having victims until you stop victimizing everything, is kind of the way I see that. Now, as white guy, it's probably real easy for me to say that, you know, to a lot of folks, but at the same time, I don't know, maybe it can be that simple to an aspect. I don't know.
Yeah, I get what you're saying in both regards.
Yeah. I'm really oversimplifying it because
I mean, we all are.
can,
We all are.
you know what I mean? But like, it's a yeah, I don't know.
No, what I'm saying.
I think we all saying the same thing.
What I get is like how anybody who know anything know that they use these instances to control emotion, to control or push agendas. I'm not fully sure what the exact agenda is in this regard, but it is definitely bigger than what they making it out to be. I think it's on a worldwide scale. I don't know if it's this current system trying to endear themselves to the Chinese government.
Yeah, well, that's kind of, I have in the back of my mind. That's kind of
They dug
where
them up.
that's kind of where my, you know, thoughts are landing, because, you know, there are a lot of people that are in high positions within this administration that have known relationships with, you know, China. And as much as, you know, we want to talk about Xi Jinping as someone who is, you know, potentially a, you know, very scary and powerful person on the world stage, he's not stumbling going up plane ladders. So it's, you know, plane stairs. So it's like, you know, it's a, you know, it's a very weird sort of thing.
And
It's trendy.
And I
Yeah,
definitely, I
yeah.
think it's them trying to repair relationships that Trump severed with China or whatever. I'm not absolutely sure. I mean, the truth always come out, but just my perspective, they need to quit trying to equate everything to the quote unquote black struggle, and quit trying to piggyback and shit and like say, oh, I know what you was talking about now. What, after a week? You feel me? After a week? And I think it's just causing like it. Everything seemed like a case study to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like they see how people react, and people just if you put it on social media, man, everybody gonna start sharing it and shit. Like I've seen people who don't even know if they going right or left talking about some stop Asian hate, and I'm like, who hate them? You know what I'm saying? The only Asian I ever had beef with was the dude who was fighting John Claude Van Damme on Bloodsport.
Yeah.
When he cheated with the fucking not Bloodsport, kickboxing. When he tried to put the glass on his hands, and when he blinded him, I was mad. That's what I'm mad at Asians for.
Yeah. Well, and I, you know, like you said, a case study sort of situation. That's, you know, the, you know, conspiracy theory time. I had that thought, kind of going through the, you know, going back over some of the thoughts in regards to COVID. I think that it's, you know, what if the vaccine is a placebo? You know what I mean? The placebo effect's a very real thing. You know, if you tell a bunch of people that, you know, they go from 97.8% survival rate to 98.3 if they get a, you know, vaccine, then, you know what I mean, and then sometimes people line up for it. But now they have an open record based on your vaccine card. Now that they're tracking who all got the vaccine, they're, you know, they can know who would be the hardest to make it happen again. You know what I mean? They know who those outliers are in society that are the last ones to get it done. They now know who the biggest, mouths of opposition are. They now know who, isn't going to buy the narrative first. And they're either going to try and infiltrate those demographics of people, or they're going to try and pit them against each other.
So they know who to fuck up, just based off that. I can see that, man, but with people dying and shit, you know what I'm saying?
For sure.
But I definitely can see that. But my thing is, I don't think nobody. One thing, all the celebrities and shit, that irritate me. I'm telling you, I'm more irritated at one person than everybody else. I apologize in advance. I'm so sick of LeBron. I'm so fucking sick of LeBron in this regard. I understand LeBron is a businessman. He's trying to get that fucking $1 billion that he said he want to get. And why I'm saying I'm disappointed, because he was on it the next day. We got to stop this. This was a tragedy, whatever he said in his tweet. And what he was doing, he was saving face for when he damn near basically told Daryl Morey that he should shut up when Daryl Morey was speaking out against some of the atrocity that's going on in China.
Yeah.
It's bullshit. Like, it's their government, it's their country, they do what they want to, but they going through a lot of shit.
Yeah.
And nobody's speaking up on their behalf in that regard. You know what I'm saying? But when it's something that's, when LeBron, I'm going to tell you what LeBron do, man. LeBron, he championed himself as somebody who's like for the people. He always like, I'm a black man, all this. But LeBron is a businessman first. LeBron wouldn't speak out against shit if it was going to fuck up his brand. And this was a case in point right here. And it kind of disgusted me because he acted like Daryl Morey was wrong a couple years ago for, you know what I'm saying, what he said. And it's just goofy to me, man.
Well, and doesn't the NBA have
a lot of money?
Yeah, well, and not only that, but like,
they make a lot of money with China. So that's how, I mean, look, that's why I'm saying he think business first, because he like, Daryl Morey, shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? You gonna fuck up our contracts and shit. Yeah. And China is that place that will be like, fuck y'all. Yeah. Because America's more dependent on China than people think.
Oh, for sure. I think the world, like, they've been secretly buying all of these small world governments
I'm glad you just
for the last, like people don't, like, a lot of people don't realize that the CCP has been, economically coming into these small countries, buying up a lot of their resources privately, and then selling them back to them at stupid prices until they eventually, kind of give them
crumble.
Some power.
I'm glad you brought that up though, man, because China for the last 5 years, China been raping Africa.
Yeah,
they gonna get all the resources and shit that the European countries didn't get, and now y'all want, like, they was mistreated. They go to Africa and talk crazy to them. You know what I'm saying? Put some shoes on, nigga. You know, I mean, it's just the disrespect is crazy, but then they want, in turn, now we supposed to be sympathetic, and it's crazy. I want to ask you this though, Buck. In situations like this, do you be feeling like, I know we make a joke out of it, but do you be feeling like everybody put a microphone in your face to see how you feel about racism? Like,
man,
when black people get killed by the police and shit, do you feel like people looking at you for an answer, like, why the fuck you did it?
I mean, I think there's more pressure there's more pressure from other white people to seriously to make a statement about it. But when it comes to that, like, obviously when that sort of thing happens, it's saddening. And to me, I see I see friends and family in that scenario, and it breaks my heart. And it's also not me to speak about. Like, yeah, I'll give my opinion if someone wants me to give one, but it's also not my place to speak on the black struggle, just because it's not my struggle. And so if someone asks me my opinion, I'll give it. But I also
disclaimer.
Yeah. I also don't have tried to not make myself give a statement on the podcast. Like, that's one thing I did maybe once or twice when some things happened over the year, over the course of the last year. And like, I was like, I don't owe anyone a statement. You know what I mean? Like I don't need to feel obligated to give my thoughts on this. Like, Nick had something that he wanted to read and share, and I was like, dude, hell yeah, like, take that time and read and share whatever you want. But at the same time, like, you're going to get enough of that on the mainstream that I'm going to, try and give you something else to think about that'll make you laugh and smile, hopefully. So
yeah, we even got to that point where we were like, you know what, motherfuckers going to keep getting killed.
Like,
you going
Yeah,
keep
for
making
sure.
one more important than the other. Like,
Absolutely.
It's competitive.
Absolutely.
And when you say heartbreaking, like what exactly was heartbreaking to you?
Well, I mean, I you know, hate to see, you know, anyone fall at the hands of an officer for, you know, whether justified or not, you know what I mean? If you're being pursued by law enforcement, you know what I mean? I don't know what it was for or what it could be for. That everything's different in different situations. But, you know, in a situation like that where the state is being forced upon you and you lose your life, I think it's pretty fucked up.
And I ask that though, man, because I don't like for somebody trying to force me to care about some shit. You know, I think one of the most disrespectful things that people can do to you is enable phone companies to send you Amber Alerts. You know what I'm saying? If I'm having a good fucking day, man, don't try to fucking ruin my day and shit. Yeah. Like, I don't like, and it goes to like what we talked about a couple weeks ago with social media. Like, social media try to push you to feel away. And like, I wonder, like, from a white man's perspective, do y'all feel like, motherfucker, leave me alone? This shit didn't have shit to do with me. Like, what you want? Like, they be wanting people to, like, they want, but he just don't know how many followers you get if you get up there and say, we gotta stop this. You know what I'm saying? Like, this shit's out of control. Like, we talking about you invited to the barbecue and shit that.
Yeah, I got a couple, like, message requests from a couple of things to be a brand ambassador for BLM. And I'm like, I mean, like, I'll speak on a topic, but like, you know, I don't know that the idea aligns with the organization, let alone gonna, you know, put a you know, a badge on my chest. You know, I don't know. You know what I mean?
You want to talk about groundbreaking and shit? You want to talk about groundbreaking, man? Fuck this is groundbreaking. You don't realize you're the first white person to be on the show.
Damn.
Well, Logan was with
he was an assistant. He carried Keezy bags up here. This is the first one, man. You like the reverse Jackie Robinson. And he had to come 21st in post.
Oh man!
On a special night.
They probably think you came here got kidnapped.
Yeah, I'm the first white
drugs and shit.
Yeah, I'm the first white guy made you completely rearrange your schedule.
Hey,
that's
Hey, listen, y'all have rearranged languages. This is nothing.
Countries.
That's true. That's true.
But look, you gotta apologize. You want to stay? No. But Uncle Buck Podcast. That's where we know you from. That's where I originally from. Jason, definitely. Jason, he know you from. The stand-up comedy world.
Mm-hmm.
And so let's get into that.
Okay.
How long you been messing with comedy?
Man, so before I started doing stand-up more frequently and kind of identified with that, I was playing music. I was a guitar player in a bluegrass band for, I don't know, better part of 7 years, and had a lot of fun with that. But I found a lot of joy at the shows when, you know, when you're dealing with all stringed instruments. Obviously the banjo has to tune every 2 or 3 songs, and so in that time...
Hold on. You said obviously. We didn't know banjos get tuned. You gotta be aware of your demographics and shit.
Okay.
Banjo?
Okay, well, technically banjo's an African instrument, so sorry for me for making assumptions. No, I'm just kidding.
Fucking dummy.
You don't even know your culture.
No, it's all good. In fact, that's actually one of my favorite arguments when people say bluegrass is like just old and racist. I'm like, the first banjos were deer hide strung over hollowed out gourds with horsehair that were actually brought in.
Now you stunned on us now.
Yeah, but anyway.
Where's your kente clown?
No, go ahead.
And so, in between, while the instruments were tuning and whatnot, I would just tell little jokes in between that dead time, so there wasn't just any dead time on stage. And so I just started to really enjoy making the audience laugh. And I've always been a fan of stand-up growing up, and I listened to Steve Martin and the Dane Cook records were really influential on me. And of course, all those 30-minute Comedy Central stand-ups were just one of my favorite things to watch on the weekend. But after doing that, after being with the band for 6.5 years or so, I kind of got into the podcasting a little bit here and there. I wanted to, try it and wanted to give it a shot, and I was tired of lugging around instruments and gear and cables to every show, and was like, if I could just show up with a notepad and, tell jokes to people that want to hear it. I think that'd be a whole lot of fun. And so did my first open mic, and that was it.
What was this open mic at?
It was in Indy. It was like South Broad Ripple. I can't remember the name. It's not open anymore.
No.
I wanted to say it was called the Bent. No, it wasn't the Bent Rail.
Gay bar, man.
Yeah.
God
No, it was like, one of those like turned warehouses, like converted warehouses or whatever, but that makes it sound even more gay. Yeah, there was like, you had to put on leather to get in there. It was like a whole thing. You had to put chaps on when you walked in. Yeah, you couldn't go on stage without like doing your best pose. No, I'm just kidding. So that was my first open mic. I think I did 5 minutes and told like a really shitty story and a joke about how you can't lie to the lady at the drive-thru. You know what I mean? Like, there's no lying there. Like, they know that you didn't order 2 drinks for 2 people. That sort of thing. And it's just really shitty jokes and really bad stories. But I had so much fun doing it that I kept doing it.
Was you nervous?
Yes and no. Like, I wasn't really nervous to go on stage because that was something that I had, done regularly for, several years prior, but not having a band with you and kind of being on your own, that was probably the scariest part. When you're in a band and playing and you fuck up, the band is still going, you got to jump back in. Yeah. But if you, miss a beat on stage or you forget part of a joke or something, then everyone knows. Unless you're smooth enough to work through it.
Like, I really got to get up here and make these people laugh.
Yeah, for sure. Especially when you don't feel like you should be funny, like especially at first, and this is something I still deal with, is like when you don't feel like the audience should pay attention to you because you may not be as good as you want, like it's really hard to grab their attention, and that was something I struggled with for a while.
When you got up there your first time, did you have any jokes that like before you got on stage, like, yeah, I'm gonna tear this shit up, and then it didn't hit you, like, what the fuck just happened?
I did think the McDonald's one was gonna do a little bit better, but no, I told a story that I had been telling for a really long time, and I got some cool advice, from someone who's like, well, your first time going up, just tell a story you've told a bunch, you'll be more comfortable with it. And I'm like, okay, cool. So, and I had several of those, and so I just picked one and told the story about getting kicked out of Christian school.
Anderson Christian?
Liberty. Yeah, peed on a kid.
I was a freak.
It was an accident. It was an accident. It was an accident.
How you accidentally pee on somebody?
Well, okay.
Come on, you gotta explain out. All right, hear the story.
Okay, all right. So the old Liberty Christian in Anderson was.
It's not on Columbus anymore.
No.
Okay.
But that same building though, it was 3 stories. And so each floor of the building was, sized for the student that was on it. So the elementary kids were on the first floor, middle school second, high school third. Well, it was after school. I'm in the 2nd grade. It's after school daycare. And so everyone that was doing the after school thing was just on the 2nd floor. And so, kids from all over the school. And so I said I needed to go to the bathroom. And of course I go to the bathroom. I'm the only boy at the time that needs to go to the bathroom. So I'm the only boy in the bathroom. The bathroom and the urinals are all too tall, for me being in the 2nd grade. So I have a decision to make. I can either use the urinal or I can go into the stall and, be safe about it. You know what I mean? Like I should. But I take the adventurous route and decide to step back 4 feet and
long distance
matrix lean back and try and figure out the trajectory of projectile. And I'm like, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna have fun while I'm doing it. And so I start to pee, and this I hear the door open. This little kid comes running. Apparently had a last minute decision, and comes running. I gotta pee. Runs right in the line of fire. And
wow.
And I don't know how to stop. I'm in 2nd grade. Like, that shit hurts. You know what I mean? And I'm trying to move, and he's seemingly moving with me. And you think I just put the kid out of fire,
precision.
And he just started screaming and ran out of the room.
Buck and telling his same lies since he was in 2nd grade.
I don't know why I just followed and kept peeing on him, but I just had more pee.
He started to believe this shit. That motherfucker.
Well, I would have did that shit too, probably. Like, get your little dumb ass.
Well, and the funniest part, I find out years later.
Kid with mine.
No, that they told my mom that I got caught looking in the girls' bathroom. Like that's why I like was getting expelled. Not for what actually happened, but because that's
so
what
your
happened.
mom
Was
said?
you looking
You
at
told
your
her?
No.
Because you
no,
did
no.
that. You was the only boy who went to the restroom and shit.
Yeah, no, I definitely was not. I definitely was not doing that. And honestly, that would have been a way easier story to tell my mom.
So
That would have been a way easier conversation.
So what she said when you told her?
Huh? Well, she it was a weird situation. Like they had me sit outside. They pulled my mom in to tell her what happened. It all kind of went down, and then she said, "Come on, let's go." And like we never until years later talked about it because I was like, "Hey, I tell this story on stage." She's like, "That's not why you got kicked out." And I'm like, "Yeah, it is." And she's like, "Nah, no, I've never heard that before in my life." And she said, "The school told me that you were, looking in the girls' bathroom."
That's dangerous.
Yeah.
You know.
Although I will say that school, the church affiliated with that school was affiliated with my stepdad at the time, and that was probably an easier story to tell in the break room.
Incriminating.
Okay. Alright, because I'm like, that's scary if you don't tell that go through that length to tell that type of lie to somebody's parent about some shit that happened in school.
I think there's the old COG. Anderson's got some weird clause in with the COG.
Okay, I understand now.
Let's go real quick though. Can you imagine? You need to come get your son here in school pissing on people. He's just like you. Talking about you gotta come. Can you imagine that story? But getting back to the comedy shit, you said that you used to listen to Steve Martin.
Yes, actually one of the first records I heard was Let's Get Small.
Is The Jerk one of the best comedy movies ever?
Yes. Whenever a movie starts with Steve Martin saying I was born a poor black child, I just can't hold myself the rest of the time.
Steve Martin,
so good.
SNL alum.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Dane Cook, these were some of the people you used to like.
I know Dane Cook gets a lot of shit, but those retaliation records for me back in the day were on repeat in my car in high school. Like I just listened to those all the time. There was just something so funny about them. And then Mitch Hedberg was huge. I had Mitch Hedberg's records.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
You know what? I didn't know I should have been for a long time, and then when I got hip, I was like, this motherfucker.
He animated. He real animated.
It's funny, bro.
Mitch, I'm telling you, man. It's like nobody really know Mitch like they should. You know what I'm saying? His fucking deadpan comedy and shit, man.
Yeah.
That shit is fucking hilarious, man. I'm shocked that you mentioned him, man, because he got a style that like people usually like people that they can imitate.
Yeah.
But nobody can do him like that. That's too many people.
Like Brent Terhune put out a really awesome video kind of honoring Mitch Hedberg on like the anniversary of his death, or either it was Mitch's birthday or something, but he tells us this sort of anecdote that's totally true, that there are a lot of first-time comics, and Jason, you could probably attest to this as well, when you see comics get up there on stage and they're kind of reading out of a joke book, they're reading these one-liners. Yeah, they're maybe reading jokes that they wrote, but they're doing Mitch. They're trying to do his delivery because it was, like you said, just so great. Yeah. Everything that he delivered was so good. I don't know that I ever saw a bad set from him. Like
some people are game changers.
Mm-hmm.
That was
it's like game changers. Lights go out quick. You know what I'm saying? Like their lights go out quick. Aside from those three, is there anybody like you like watching, like not even purposely imitate or emulate anybody else? Matter of fact, just real quick, give me your top five.
Top five right now?
Yes, historically.
Historically, top five. Steve Martin can always make me laugh. Tom Segura's definitely on that list. I love Judah Friedlander. I'm purposely going to leave Chappelle out because he's already in so many other people's top five, and he definitely is one of the GOATs. But I am going to say that Hannibal Buress is definitely in my top five, and I'm going to say that, oh gosh, what is his name? I don't know why it's Pablo Francisco. Pablo Francisco is so damn funny. Yes, dude. He does so many funny bits with like just different funny voices that like that his stuff is so off the wall. I love Pablo Francisco, but yeah.
For the sake of it, I can't remember your top 5. You got one?
It's hard to narrow down, but I definitely
Just give us
Red
a top
Fox.
5, man, off the top of the win.
Alright, Red
It's probably gonna
Fox.
change
Yeah,
every
that Dave Chappelle, I feel like that should be a given. It shouldn't be on nobody but
Yeah.
Dave Chappelle. I like shit. Eddie Murphy is definitely one of my favorite. I don't know why I wouldn't say that.
Kuni Cuckoo.
Yeah, and then shit, man. Yeah, I can't help but say like Red Fox. I listen to a lot of these fucking records in depth, and I'm like, why they in particular? You know what I mean? But just somebody else who influenced me that I really just like was like a Jim Carrey. You know what I mean? Like very much.
Yeah.
What about you, Julie?
But not stand-ups. The Jim Carrey stand-up.
Bob Saget more funny than Jim
Right?
Carrey is
Bob Saget funny as fuck.
funny as
Yeah.
hell. What about you?
Man, I'm gonna have to go. Man, I'm gonna have to go. I'm definitely gonna have to go Dave Chappelle, man. Cause I was just like, you gotta think everything that he just did. Like, if he crazy. Dave Chappelle. Then I'm gonna go. I like Cedric the Entertainer. I don't know why he's just super funny to me, man. Like anything he says, even when the joke not funny, just shit he talk. Like I don't know, he's just funny to me, man.
So
Cedric the
funny.
Entertainer. I definitely like Jim Carrey because he animated. That's why I like Dan Cook. Dan Cook animated.
I'm gonna throw my 5 out there real quick, man. I'm like, mine always shock people, but I'm surprised nobody said Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor.
I did. Richard Pryor.
Did he say Richard Pryor?
Yeah, no, he did.
Okay.
I think you might have said Red Fox twice.
No, I said I don't want. I mean, I said
He said Red Fox.
No, I said before I said I listened to so much of his work.
Yeah.
I said Richard Pryor.
No, you said Red Fox.
No,
You said
No, I said
I'm
Red
gonna
Fox
go back
first.
and play this, man. We had
Go
the
ahead.
okay. I know where we at too, though. I'm gonna be right.
Run it back right now.
I'm gonna be right. Mine, Richard Pryor, and I'm fuck that. He can be on a billion people list. Dave Chappelle, Patrice O'Neal,
Oh, Patrice.
Eddie Murphy, and my shocker always Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby might be the best storyteller in history.
Yeah, no, comedically,
Oh, man, of course.
you can't discredit Bill Cosby's comedy. For
Them
sure.
fucking man, them fucking stories. My
I don't remember I forget the meme, but like someone called him the greatest knockout artist of all time.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty interesting. I thought it was pretty funny.
Nah, that toilet, that motherfucker throwing up shit.
So how long you been doing stand up?
I think I'm going on. October is gonna be 5 years for me. October's gonna be 5 years, it's gonna be May is gonna be 4 years for when I started comedy in Kettletop in Anderson. There was no comedy in Anderson until we started that open mic.
It's
And
been 4 years.
Yeah. It was May of
Pioneer.
May of 2017 that we started that open mic. Yeah.
Everything. Fuck that. You go give this flowers. Hey, shout out to motherfucker bringing some life to Anderson.
Anderson showed
Yeah.
up, man.
Yeah.
But so what's the biggest thing you notice, like, on a personal level? And Jason, this is a double question, because Jason been doing comedy for a long time too, though. But just with yourself and personal growth from the very first time you got on stage to now, what's the biggest thing you noticed?
I think just the easy answer is comfortability, just because that comes with practice.
I knew you was about to say that.
But yeah, I think also just my level of intimacy that I'm willing to talk about on stage. I'm willing to kind of go there a little more with the audience, because I think that like if they know some of the weirder, deeper parts of myself, that like they can not only relate to me on a deeper level, which means that like we're gonna connect more on the jokes, but also I think that it anytime you can show an audience that you're kind of putting yourself out there, I think you kind of get them on your side. So that's one thing I've gotten better at for sure.
And then just observing like comedy, stand-up comedy outside of yourself, what's the biggest thing you notice in change? And I'm gonna kind of lead you to an answer maybe with Jason, but with the advent of social media comedies, comics or whatever. How has that affected like the game, as far as you see it?
I mean, it's a weird thing because I see a lot of comics. Like, I see a lot of comics writing killer jokes and putting them on social media. Like, I will really only ever post a good joke on social media if it's topical because it's got a shelf life. You can't really do that joke on stage for a long time, so it might as well live online and get the likes while it can. But, like, I see a lot of comics using good stage material online, which what happens is, and we've seen it with some of our friends, and it may have happened to you, Jason, that you put a killer joke online and it all of a sudden is a meme and you can't use it anymore. Memes have ruined writing for stand-up comedy because so many good jokes are ruined because they got turned into a meme.
That's why I didn't post for a long time, because I'd be like, man, I'm gonna post that on Facebook. Then I started typing it, and I'd be like, man, I could bust this out into a whole fucking joke, man.
That's actually
this fucking social media shit. And I don't post shit.
That's kind of the double-edged sword with posting your stuff online. Is you do get a date and timestamp of when you posted it, so that if someone else posts the same joke and like they maybe get more recognition off of it than you can at least say, you know what, I had that joke online first. Like, I get that side of it, but at the same time, like, putting a really good joke out there and enough people like that joke,
charity.
It will become a meme. Exactly. It will become a meme. And then there are some good writers that are spending their time writing memes when they should be writing sketches, and they should be writing scripts, and they should be writing jokes to do on stage, but they're writing memes, and like those are, not exactly easy to monetize unless you have one of those meme pages or whatever. So it's a weird sort of thing.
So with the Kettle Top, how often do you run it?
So the Wednesday shows, Uncle Buck's Comedy Hour, are every other Wednesday. I was promoting it as second and fourth Wednesday, but then I realized that there are some months where we have 3 Wednesdays, and so that kind of throws off that. So I don't want to confuse people. So it's just bi-weekly, every other week. We do that out of Kettle Top on Wednesday nights at 8 o'clock, and currently it's free. We want to try and start getting our comics some money. We want to try and start booking some comics from a little bit more distance. We want to be able to cover some expenses for their travel at least. So we may look into some type of either virtual wallet tipping scenario from the audience at the time of show, or we may do a small cover at some point. But for now, the shows are free. And, they're a lot of fun. We've got Jay Hunter coming in this week from Detroit, and that's going to be a lot of fun. So,
and it's a great atmosphere for comedy. I came when Jason was on stage, and it was like they knew when to laugh. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't just like some kind of amateur crowd. People just out there drinking. Has there been anybody who came there outside of Jason who was like one of your favorites?
Yeah, I mean, we've had some really fun, like Dave Dugan came in and did a half hour just without even, he didn't even ask for money. He just was like, I haven't done comedy in 285 days because of the pandemic, and like, I need to do a show. And, it's Dave Dugan's one of those guys that rarely does free shows, but he came out and did a half hour, and that was a whole lot of fun. But, just seeing a lot of I think my favorite thing about the Wednesday shows is, we like to save our showcases and our ticketed shows to try to, bring in the biggest and the best, but at the same time, seeing the growth from the local comics is my favorite part of the Wednesday shows, because, guys like Griffin Shira, I remember when he was coming into the, Kettle Top and didn't tell me he wasn't 21 yet. He just wasn't drinking alcohol. I thought, oh, hey, finally, a smart comic that's not getting wasted before his set. And no, it's because he wasn't 21 and just didn't want to show anyone his ID.
But he did drink that blue shit in the bathroom.
Oh shit, he did! He did! Oh,
shout out to Griffin.
Oh my gosh. When he was newly 21.
He thought that shit was alcohol. He thought that shit was tequila.
What was
it? It was fucking mouthwash or some shit that was.
There's a cigar bar right next door at Kettle Top.
Which was weird by itself.
Yeah. And so he goes next door to use the bathroom, so he don't have to walk all the way through the showroom to go to the bathroom. He goes to the bathroom, and of course they keep mouthwash in an old whiskey bottle in the bathroom so that anyone smoking cigars can get some mouthwash. And he comes back out and goes, dude, did you know they're giving away free shots in the bathroom? I'm like, what? And you know, it comes with the little
I done thought somebody was there trying to fuck me.
I was
yeah.
had to tell everybody.
Because it comes with all the wax cups and stuff too. Like it looks like they were supposed to be like shot glasses. And yeah, no, he came out and was like, "Do you guys know they're giving away free shots in the bathroom?" I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, the blue stuff. It tastes like toothpaste." And I'm like,
kind of minty. What
kind of drink is
that? So that was his first time you ever mouthwash. God damn.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about that, Jason. That's so funny.
That's crazy.
That is so funny.
Oh shit.
So you use it to sharpen your tools though?
Yeah. I've started. There are a few regulars that come out to every single one of our shows, and I've been trying to give them sort of a hosting rotation to try and get their chops up on hosting and whatnot, so they can hopefully get some more gigs in that respect. Which gives me an opportunity, if I don't have to host every Wednesday, to be able to throw myself in the lineup, so I get to because there's a very different approach to coming at an audience when you're trying to come at them as the host versus a comic in the lineup. So when I'm trying to host every week and do new material, it's hard to do new material that you don't know if it's going to work and then get the crowd hyped up for the rest of the show. So yeah, I've been working it out so that I don't have to host every show, and it's been giving me the ability to work out more. So yeah.
That's what's up. Have you visited any other comedy clubs since you've been doing this?
Yeah, I got to go down to Gutty's, which was a lot of fun. I haven't done any of the yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Gutty's.
I just went there for the first time on Friday.
Hell yeah. That's and they're a clean club, which is cool. I think that's hopefully there are more clubs that pop up around here.
You say
but
clean, what you mean by that?
It's family friendly, no curse words. Yeah. Not like their bathrooms or
This is nasty.
Yeah. There's no shit on the walls. No. I've done the mic out at Helium a few times, obviously would love to get booked on there at some point, but I've been on a couple of shows at Crackers, like they did some weeknight, showcases back in the day. But yeah, haven't done a whole lot of club stuff, but that's the thing about Midwest comedy is it's like, a lot of it's real DIY, you know what I mean? Yeah, absolutely.
So what you got on deck? Like what's on deck for Uncle Buck?
Man, there's a lot of cool stuff coming up, but I'll just kind of go with the most recent. So this week, so tomorrow night is my weekly Tuesday night Top Life Trivia at Kettle Top.
The reason why we're here tonight.
Yeah, because I normally can't make it on a Tuesday. But yeah, we bring general topic trivia to Kettle Top every Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. free to play. And then on Wednesday night, obviously, we have Uncle Buck's Comedy Hour. Friday night, we're doing Seinfeld themed trivia. I don't know if you have a lot of Seinfeld fans in your demo, but if they were into that, then they can jump on out to Five's Tap House on the north side of Anderson Friday night. And then Saturday, we have the first ever live comedy album recording at Kettle Top. A gentleman from LA by the name of David Leo Schultz is recording his debut album, and he's written and starred in movies with Burt Reynolds and Fred Willard and some other folks, and he's also got a movie on Netflix right now that he wrote and acted in. So he's going to be doing his recording on the 27th. But outside of that, for myself, we have the Roast War Championship coming up May 15th to the Flyover Live in Anderson. Is a new venue I'll be working with to bring comedy. It's a bigger room, about a 250-seat room there in Anderson. And that's half capacity.
You said the Roast War?
Roast War Championship, yeah, absolutely.
I participated in the Roast War before.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, hey, if I'll talk to Brad if you're interested in
I just saw him. Yeah, I was
roasting on the 15th. Cool. Yeah. If we've got some matchups left out there, I think you'd be awesome to get on that. But I myself am going to be roasting Devon Shoemaker there. And let's see, on May 22nd, I'm going to be opening for Chris Kattan at Beeson Hall in Franklin.
Nice.
So
that's what's up.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
That's twice. That's the second time, right?
First time.
Oh, I thought it got canceled the first.
Yeah, it was supposed to be last May.
Okay.
Actually, it was supposed to be last April.
Flyers and shit.
Yeah. It was supposed to be last April, and then it just kept getting pushed.
So what exactly is the roast war? Like, what does that entail?
So it's a really cool show format. It's Brad Rigler. Shout out to Brad Rigler, stand-up Rigler. He's been taking the show all over the Midwest. It's two comics, matchup style, like you would have fighting or pro wrestling. There'd be a predetermined matchup, and then you get a minute apiece. You get a literal steel cage. He brings a literal steel cage on stage. You stand in there with your opponent, and you have like a chess clock style device in between you, and you get a minute apiece. And so you can say a joke and then hit the clock if you want, or you can rattle off a couple jokes and then hit the clock. It's however you want to spend your minute.
So you can kind of put the pressure on a little bit.
Absolutely, and you kind of want to save your biggest pops for the end in case they need to run out time. You know what I mean?
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's a really cool dynamic, and you get together. You can get together if you want with the person you're going up against to try to figure out what would be the best matchup. So you can kind of get together and talk about jokes, but it's always the most fun if you can kind of figure out where the boundaries are and then just write your own and then hear them the day of. It's a lot of fun. So there's several matchups. We have DJ Dangler and Pat Murray in our main event, and those guys are some killer joke writers. So they're gonna bring the heat. We've got Sarah Huntington versus Iron Mike Tyson Cox, and let's see who else. Myself and Devon Shoemaker, and some others to be announced.
Have you done your shoot? Your pre-fight, you not ready for me, motherfucker? I'm the best joke shaking my life.
I've been throwing my digs in here and there on social media, but I'm gonna start ramping things up here a little bit.
You should do a promo video.
Yeah. I've had some ideas for that, and I think we might see one of those pop up in the next couple of weeks. So.
That's what's up.
Absolutely.
We about to wrap this up. If it's you gonna let people know anything else where they can find you at on social media. First off, let me go shout out to BJ and Nick.
Yeah. Shout out to those guys. Yeah. Shout out to my boys over at Uncle Buck's house, and that's where you can find the podcast. Is at Uncle Buck's House Podcast, and you can find me at Uncle Buck's House. So just type in Uncle Buck's House, you'll find all my shit. That's on all forms of social media: Facebook, Instagram. I don't really do Twitter. Snapchat if you want to throw some titties. But
Snapchat me them nipples. Nah, man.
Just the nipples like that.
Hey, as Jason said, though, man, it's definitely a dope ass podcast. And like I said,
thank you, man. I appreciate that. Each time likewise, man. I really enjoy listening to you guys' show. Thanks. I'm honored to be on it.
Each time I came to your show, I felt the same exact way. You got anything you want to say in closing, Juvie?
Man, make sure you check out the Conceited Nobody. Stream it on all platforms tomorrow or Wednesday. I'm kind of off. It's Monday, so he said tomorrow. So check out the Conceited Nobody. Streaming on all platforms tomorrow. I can't even say the Superstar show no more, man. I don't know what my new slogan gonna be, but Pookie Jones, man, making his second coming, man.
He gonna walk down to the ring with a fucking 40 in a paper bag.
Some slippers.
I got the old school Boston Trunks, the short boys.
Oh yeah.
I got the short boys with an all black jacket with the singles.
Yeah.
The silver shingles on that motherfucking Pookie and Cursive.
Already.
Yeah. Who your Taylor? Shout him out.
Aaron Harrison.
Yeah.
So my first pro boxing uniform was the second one he ever made. Now he makes some damn near for everybody.
Hell yeah.
He got the whole fucking Midwest sold up, man. He been on Showtime. He been on.
Oh shit.
He damn near been on all platforms, man.
He did that.
Next time Juvie fight, man, I'll let you know, man.
Oh yeah, please let me do it. I'd love to be there for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
I love watching live fights.
Go ahead, go Jason R. Go Jason R.
Follow me at Go Jason R on all social media platforms. That's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, even TikTok if you feel like it. And new video on YouTube every Monday for More Material Mondays. There's a new video out now, so go check that out. Yeah, every Monday, pretty much at noon. Just check out those videos and music streaming on our platforms as well.
And if y'all didn't notice something real quick, let me interrupt you. At the beginning of the show, we know Jason come here live wire, so we let him get all that shit out because you see how subdued he is at the end of the show. Hey, I'm just Jason.
I'm just Jason.
I got some shit going.
Also, yeah, because I want you guys to hear exactly what I'm saying. Also, if you're in the Indianapolis area, I have a live comedy show. That's right, folks. You can come to a live comedy show now. You're allowed at the White Rabbit on April 30th and May 1st. 2 shows.
Yeah, shout out to Hairbrain Comedy.
Hairbrain is doing their thing, man.
Yeah.
I'm
Shout
so
out to
shitty how
Isaac
far away
Lanford.
that scene. I'm so fucking shitty how far
Isaac
away
Lanford.
that scene. But shout out to everybody who rock with us. Shout out to Maurice again, my favorite person on earth. My favorite person on earth. Hell yeah, he out there. Out there texting the whole goddamn time. I promise I'm on my way.
They finna finish it up now.
Yeah. But shout out to you, Buck, for coming to kick it again. Shout out to the squad. We'll catch y'all next week, presumably on Tuesday. It could happen, man. We pops up. It might be on Wednesday, it might be on Thursday. Who knows? This is how we move, man. But thanks for everybody tuning in to the best podcast you never heard of, Conceited Nobody.